Hey, thanks for joining. In this video, we're talking about using credit cards. In the compounding episode, I discussed a credit card example as part of bad compounding. We'll go into a little bit more detail of that $5,000 TV purchase in this video and give you some insight into best practices, what to avoid, etc. The do's and don'ts of credit cards, if you will. Credit cards are like a sharp knife or a chainsaw. Each are useful tools that serve a specific purpose when used properly, but use it incorrectly and you can hurt yourself, sometimes severely. Joining me for this episode is Casey from Massachusetts. Thanks for joining me, Casey. So let's start with a few do's. If you are new to credit cards and just starting to build your credit, you may want to consider a secured credit card. This is a card where you pay an upfront cash deposit to act as collateral in the event you can't make payments. A secure card is good for people just starting out or with poor credit who are trying to improve their credit. Next, always research the credit card before applying for it. Does it meet your needs? You may only use a credit card for gas purchases and want to make sure you maximize cash back rewards for that category, for example. Would I qualify for this card based on, for example, my credit score? These are the types of questions you need to ask yourself when looking for a card. Always read the fine print when applying for a credit card. You don't want to overlook something and be surprised later on. For example, an interest rate increase that was called out in the terms. Next, you want to understand how a credit card will affect your credit score. How will opening this new credit card affect my score? It could have a short-term negative effect, but a long-term positive effect if you pay on time, keep your balance low relative to credit limit on the card, etc. How will closing an older credit card affect my score? Next week, we'll discuss how to improve your credit score, so more details to follow there. Next is to pay your balance in full and on time. This is the key way to avoid issues with credit cards, as avoiding interest payments and late fees allows you to keep additional costs of these credit card transactions at zero. It also helps reduce a lot of stress. Next, have discipline with how you use your credit card. Buy only what you have cash to pay for from your checking or monthly income streams. Situations like emergencies come up where you may need to charge something because you don't have sufficient funds available to pay for it. This should be the exception and not the rule. Ideally, you're able to build up an emergency fund that helps you handle these emergencies that pop up so you avoid charging these costs to a credit card. And the last do item, automate your monthly payments to avoid missed payments or late fees. At a minimum, I recommend setting up automatic payment for the minimum balance so that is covered in case you forget to set up payment for that particular month. It's a little built-in protection for yourself. Now for the don'ts. Don't purchase an item with your credit card you can't cover with cash checking funds. As noted earlier, emergencies happen and credit cards can help in these situations, but ideally you have an emergency fund to help with those occurrences. Next, don't pay just the minimum balance. If you do this, as I mentioned in the $5,000 TV purchase example, you'll be paying a lot of unnecessary interest. Don't close the card account without understanding how it will affect your credit score. Sometimes holding on to a card and not using it helps maintain or even improve your score by keeping your older credit lines active or keeping a large credit limit active. More on these points in the video next week on improving your credit score. Next up, don't fall for the 0% APR introductory offers. Sure, 0% APR sounds great, but all this really does is lead to the bad habit of carrying a balance. And if you carry a balance and can't pay off that balance before the intro 0% APR period ends, cue the interest. Casey, how do you feel about interest and fees? No. Fees, F-E-E-S, not fleas. Okay, moving on. Don't just purchase something for rewards points or cash back or add another credit card simply for points or rewards. Credit card rewards programs are only beneficial if you have the discipline to play the game the right way, which is using the card for everyday purchases, not extending yourself just for the points or rewards, and paying off your full balance every month. If you don't have this discipline, the fees and interest only eats away at the benefits provided by the rewards. Next, don't forget to review your monthly statements. You want to make sure there are no mistakes, no possible fraudulent charges, and make sure you are fully aware of your spending. Finally, if you happen to fall behind on payments or can't make a minimum payment, don't be silent. Talk with your credit card company and explain the situation and negotiate smaller payment. Some issuers may say no, but it's worth asking. Make sure they're aware of your situation and that they know you are being proactive about it. That can only help your cause. Now let's talk about the mechanics of that $5,000 TV example and the 3% minimum payments per month starting at $150 per month, how much interest grows each month, etc. As you can see from this table, the payments in the first year total $1,600 while the interest totals $880. So a little more than half of the payments in the first year go towards interest, as your balance after 1 year is $4,213. And it takes a little over 5 years to pay off half the balance. Ouch. And those payments just keep going on and on and on. Thanks for joining me today, Casey. Still thought I said fleas, huh? Oh boy. Sorry, Casey. Enjoy the snow. If you've enjoyed the content, please hit that subscribe button to be notified when new videos are available, typically every Tuesday. Remember to handle your credit cards with care. See you next time.